as you've no doubt heard, earlier today, Massmart issued a cautionary announcement that the company's received a non-binding expression of interest from Walmart that could lead to a cash offer of 148 Rand a share. Neither Walmart nor Massmart are giving TV interviews at this stage, but Massmart CEO Grant Pattison has issued a recorded video interview. This is what he has to say.
This morning, Massmart issued a cautionary announcement that we had received a non-binding expression of interest from Walmart that could lead to a cash offer to acquire the entire share capital of Massmart.
What can you tell us about Walmart?
Walmart is the largest retailer in the world. While it's mostly known for its US operations, it also operates in 15 countries around the world. It employs about 2 million people and achieved $405 billion of sales in the 2010 financial year.
When did you become aware of the intention to make a non-binding expression of interest?
Whilst Massmart has met with Walmart several times in the normal course of business, we were first approached on Friday the 24th of September. The board of Massmart met on Sunday the 26th of September, and we issued this cautionary today on Monday the 27th of September.
What are the main issues covered in the cautionary that Massmart has issued?
Massmart has received a non-binding expression of interest from Walmart that could lead to a cash offer for the entire share capital of Massmart at 148 Rand per share, and that Massmart and Walmart have entered into a period of exclusivity.
Are there any conditions to the non-binding expression of interest that Walmart has made?
There are several conditions, the most important being the completion of a confirmatory due diligence by Walmart.
How long do you anticipate the process will take, and what do you see as the next?
We are at the beginning of a process, and it's difficult to say exactly how long it will take. The next step is to complete the due diligence, and thereafter we will seek regulatory and shareholder approval.
Massmart is a broad-based black economic empowerment leader in the retail industry. Will a transaction with Walmart change this position?
No, it won't. Walmart has a keen understanding of black economic empowerment and is supportive of the high priority that Massmart places on this important initiative.
There is a perception that Walmart is anti-union. How might a transaction affect union relationships?
Walmart respects and honors pre-existing union relationships and is committed to abiding by all South African labour law. It's worth noting that Walmart has relationships in at least half the countries in which it operates.
What impact would a transaction with Walmart have on jobs at Massmart?
We anticipate that any transaction will lead to increased investment in skills development and maximise job creation opportunities across the group.
How do you feel about the interest that Walmart has expressed in Massmart?
Walmart's interest represents a vote of confidence in South Africa, in Massmart and its employees.
Well, we apologise for the quality of that insert. Of course, we did take that off their website. Joining me now, though, with more on the deal is Janine van Zyl, Sector Head for Industrials at Mixa down in Cape Town. Janine, thanks very much for coming in. Walmart, I think Grant Pattison said $405 billion worth of sales last year. And of course, we had sales from Massmart at about $47 billion. So we are looking at a massive company here, aren't we?
It really is humongous.
And of course, this is something we've been talking about for a long time, the speculation that has been in the market and has been around for quite a long time. Are you surprised that it has come through? Because at one stage we thought that it really was just a rumour.
Yes, I think I'm not surprised that it's come through. I am slightly surprised it's come through so soon. We have been anticipating it. We always knew Walmart would head into Africa at some point. Obviously, the rumours about 5 months ago were pretty rife, and we thought that it possibly would happen then. Then the rumours lay down to rest for a while, as I think Massmart even thought that they had gone away and perhaps put it on the back burner for a few years. But we were under no misconception that they would eventually come here, and it just has happened now. We just didn't know whether they would go for ShopRite or for Massmart.
Do you think Massmart's the best fit for Walmart, just given the focus of this company?
I do think they are. You know, interestingly enough, outside of the US, Walmart does have quite a large food offering, which would have been so ShopRite wouldn't have been a wrong fit. But I think culturally, and also then in terms of the general merchandise, that they could add value to that sort of offering, I think Massmart is the biggest fit. Massmart also has the largest store sizes, and that's very much a Walmart type retail format.
Of course, there is no formal bid at this stage, but they are indicating an offer in the region of 148 Rand. And that's a 10% premium to what Massmart was trading at on Thursday. I think it was just under 135 Rand. Do you think this is fair, just given the takeout premium that's already been built into Massmart's share price?
It's difficult to say if it's fair. I think it probably is fair, but I doubt very much that current investors would accept it. Why would a current investor accept something that's only at a 10% premium when, you know, it's really one of our better quality retailers, it has excellent cash flows, and most of the shareholders that are holding it currently would probably have been holding it for a bigger premium, and I think they certainly will put on pressure for a bigger premium.
And of course, there is still a due diligence that has to be undertaken that Mr. Pattison was talking about. Are they likely rather to uncover anything untoward in that due diligence? Do you think it's just going to be a routine matter?
I think it's probably a routine matter. We certainly consider Massmart as a very clean run company, and I don't think that there are any skeletons in the cupboard.
Of course, we did have those shares trading up to 150 Rand this morning, so trading above the offer price. Do you think this indicates that perhaps investors are looking for a little bit more, or do you think there was a bit of a short squeeze in the market with some of those short sellers having to cover their positions?
No, that's very likely that is the case, that there are short sellers covering positions, but I think as time goes on we will probably see it trading slightly above, because I do think that that a large percentage of the investors will expect a higher offer.
Of course, I think when we've been chatting previously, Janine, we've been chatting just about some of the PE ratios in the retail sector, and they are looking pretty heady. I think Massmart trading on a forward PE of about 20, and that's allowing for earnings growth of about 27% this year. Do you think that perhaps the South African investor is seeing our retailers as expensive, but foreign investors perhaps not necessarily so?
Yes, I think that's exactly the case. We are comparing our South African retailers to the rest of the financial industrial market, and that is trading on a forward PE of around 13. But the international investors are comparing it to Russia and Brazil and the likes, where the PEs are closer to 20 to 30%. So a 20 PE takeout price is actually on the lower end. Having said that, I really don't think that we can expect the same kind of growth that one gets out of the Brazilian or the Russian markets out of a South African company. Even with the African expansion plans, they're relatively small in the context of the whole company, so I just don't think that they can get that kind of growth.
Well, what sort of growth would you be looking at for the likes of Massmart this year? Because of course we mentioned the sales were up about 10% to 47.5 billion Rand in the year to June. Headline earnings were down 6% though, so it was quite a difficult year, particularly the first half for Massmart. Do you think it's really going to be a case of bouncing back this year?
There will be certainly an element of bounce back. I think the consumer has come back to the party and is starting to spend a lot more, so sales will probably grow at higher than costs this year coming. But then of course they were also up against the headwinds of the African currencies being translated against a very strong rand. And if we continue to see a strengthening rand against the African currencies, then they may still be up against into a difficult year. But I really think that probably the rand has strengthened more last year than one would expect it to strengthen this year.
And of course, a foreign entrant coming into the South African market must be taking a look at exchange rates and building it into its model for going forward, so they expect this at the very least.
Yes, I don't know how a company like Walmart would take that, would make that call, but I really think that they're in it for the long run. So to make a currency bet is probably not the way that they're making this decision. They're really probably looking at a return on capital, at what the capital is costing them now to bring into the market and what return they can get out of it.
Of course, we were chatting to Grant Pattison on the phone a little bit earlier, and we asked him about the possibility that Massmart would remain listed in any form on the JSE after the acquisition, and he said this would seem unlikely to him. What's your view on that, and what sort of a loss would it be to the industrial space and to the retail sector in South Africa if you had a big player like this no longer on the board?
Well, we certainly would be quite unhappy if that happened. It's really, it's a pleasure to deal with a company like this of such good quality in South Africa, but it's also very nice to have some insight into what is happening in a very large part of our retail space. So if they are unlisted, it will be quite difficult for us to analyse that. But we have also seen that Walmart have taken positions in certain companies across the world where they haven't taken a majority stake, and the companies have remained listed. For example, DNS in Chile. So even though they say that they would like 100%, perhaps if they didn't get the approval for the 100%, perhaps it would still remain listed with a minority stake on the JSE.
And of course, we know that foreign investors hold about 72% of Walmart, of Massmart. That was the end of June. So 28% local shareholding. Would it be more palatable, do you think, to local investors if they could still invest in this company?
I don't think it would make a decision. I don't think it would change their decision as to whether or not to accept it.
Janine, your view, do you think this deal is likely to go through?
Probably not at this price, but I think it will go through eventually.